Good morning.
Good
Morning, buddy. How you
morning.
doing?
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday indeed. What is going on? What is going on? Look at these
How are
friends
we
in
coming in
here.
today? Look at all these people.
Good morning, Orion. Good morning, good evening, Craig. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Enjoy those ads, dude. Look, someday they won't be here and you'll miss them. Morning, Caitlin. How was your week? How was your week of school? It's the weekend. You don't have to go to work. What's going on? What's up, buddy? How are you, sir?
That's good. You know what you're so good at? You're so good at one, making sure you're saying hi to the couch over here, which is great. The other is you got me on the idea of being on Twitch at the same time. So just kind of checking things out over there, just the difference that it is. So so cool. Because look, I don't even know what this is. What is Scuba Steve redeemed a Pokemon on-screen celebration? I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Oh, shoot, I didn't even see that. Now he's redeeming an on-screen celebration. Oh, look at that. How cute.
Wait, does that come up? Oh, see, it doesn't come up on StreamYard, right?
No, but I can
So,
see it on Twitch. I just switched over to Twitch and now I can see it. That's cool.
but
All
it
right.
makes me think, what else have we missed? Have other people done things like this and we've been not plugged in enough? I'm so sorry if that's the case. But Dom fixed
I'm
it.
sure it's
Dom
just
is a White
Scuba.
House. Scuba.
Oh, he's got. Oh, hey, look, here's our new friend. I think. I would assume so.
Forgot we see Ta.
Yeah, can you post that? I switched over. Sorry, I was
I got
looking
it.
at
No,
Scuba's fun stuff.
no, it's all good.
I believe
What's
I
going on,
believe
Ta?
I believe this is a new friend who is probably in his fifth day in VFriends, and he was on Web3 Stoops Twitter space, and then he was on GMV Friends, and they were telling us about that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Ta, if you want to I will refer to you as Ta unless there's something else that you would like to be called. But that's amazing. I also have an 8-year-old. I have a 4-year-old. And so I love different perspectives. And to hear of someone kind of stepping into the role from the stepfather side, I'd be so curious because, I mean, I have so many questions just about how that is. So that is so cool. But
Yeah,
welcome. Welcome.
let us know if you what your name is, where you live, um, anything you want to let us know to give us more information. MP over here. So MP, are you in the camper right now, or is your kid is excited to go be in the camper? You know, my wife has that same problem. Um, that's right, Todd. Dude, I can't scroll up right now on my computer. It's being really, really janky right now. So, my wife can't sleep before trips. So, oh yeah, we're in the camper. Yeah, that's a kid thing.
Dude, I'm there. I'm the type of traveler. I love to know that the travel's coming up, but like give me all of my clothes, ones that maybe were in the hamper, and then other ones that were already clean. I know full well they're clean, but I'm gonna wash them all together at once. And then from the dryer, I want to fold them up and I want to put them right into my suitcase. That's what I
Oh,
want.
really?
That's like how
Wow. Okay.
I've always done it.
Nice. Now she's very much, she's very much the planner in the family and in the relationship. So, the night before she's, making lists of the stuff that we need to make sure that we have packed, and then she just doesn't, very much doesn't sleep. She gets very excited for those kind of things. Travel's a big fun thing for her.
Yeah. You guys do it well. You guys do it well. Congratulations.
Yeah. Caitlin, grateful for students who can laugh after they get caught using ChatGPT for their homework.
Ah, goodness.
I mean, look, yeah, it's gonna happen. You gotta make it fun, right? You gotta make it fun.
For sure. Can I let's do this. I just want to give some flowers quick because it's on my mind, and he's been in my ear probably a couple times over the past 24 hours. And then let's do some gratitude. But I just want to give some flowers over to Rob Messer. Rob Messer, this
Mm.
week. I love that he kind of just stepped in. He's like, we're doing the morning thing again. We did, and it was great. And he is this he's this like wealth of knowledge. He's kind of like the history teacher of like V Friends, coming in, talking about everything. I think welcoming things. He could, just he has that charisma, and he has that warmth, and he has that like excitement. It all just kind of comes together. I'm so I love it. And this morning I put on BFAM sessions with Andy, and I just love the way that Rob will navigate through the conversation to kind of get to obviously some things that he has already thought to ask, but to like just stray away enough to get more information and then come back and kind of keep. So just want to say, to another dad in the community for sure. Not that everybody needs to be a dad here, but I just love the fact that he just the product that he puts out just from his mind and his heart, and that kind of stuff. So Rob Master, I don't believe that you're listening in. Chelsea might be, but I just want to throw that out there. So
No, he never comes and listens and supports us. He's been in here one time, so we probably shouldn't give him this much platform. But no, you're right. I mean, I think I jumped up there and gave him some flowers and all that stuff. He's one of my favorites. I miss him all the time. I actually was supposed to jump on call with him because I wanted to take our relationship to the next level, and so I finally, after all these years, got his phone number. I still got butterflies in my stomach asking for it. Um, and but I missed the opportunity last week, so we'll try again this week. But yeah, he's great. I've been waiting for him to do that forever because he was one of the ones that tried to keep it going. And yeah, I'm glad he brought it back, and I'm also glad that I was able to get him to commit last week to doing this for the next 18 months, 5 days a week. So we are good, people. We got a morning show, another morning show.
there's so many things happening.
Ryan's like, no, I just needed it to be a week. I need to go back to work. I'm
Uh,
too distracted.
oh my gosh, it's just like it's a black hole of like welcomed like welcome just fun and conversation, and then I'm like, what
Yeah.
happened today? This is not a good thing.
Yeah. Where'd those three
Um
hours go?
yeah, for sure. But anyway, where are we at though? How you feeling today? Where we sit with gratitude and couch, we'd love to share your gratitude too. Let's throw it out there.
I'm feeling good. Yesterday was a good day. So for my gratitude today, I was just very much in a place of being grateful for my wife. Um, as we talked about yesterday, like had a troublesome night the night before, and she stepped in and handled things. And then, the next morning, which was yesterday morning, I went in and kind of basically apologized to Brooklyn and apologized to her for like, having my little outburst. And then we proceeded to have just a solidly good Friday. We took the kids to school. She went to the gym and to Starbucks. I went to work I had a work meeting. Then afterwards, we went on a little date, had some sushi, and then hung out around the house, just kind of getting things in order and relaxing. She started a puzzle, like a 2,000 piece puzzle, massive MFR. And I just despise puzzles. So she was sitting there doing that while I was sitting there doing whatever I was doing. I don't even remember what I was doing yesterday, but it was just a good chill day. I had fun.
Like V Friends is gonna put out a puzzle. It's like your least favorite activation. Like, get away
Oh,
from
dude.
me.
If they do, it would be like her favorite activation and my least favorite. Yeah, exactly. I would not. It would be like the one thing where she'd be like, "All right, fine, you can buy that," and I'd be like, "But I don't want to." Yeah,
That's
a
great, man.
slime puzzle. It'll be the first activation of the slime.
We need it, man. And puzzles would be so fun. I feel like that. I feel like puzzles. There is a community of puzzle people that would definitely love that kind of thing. So that'd be cool. What's
Oh
up,
yeah,
Profit?
Brofit. My abs are sore today.
Whew.
Damn it. I hate being sore. But yeah, I woke up today. Did a little Brofit workout yesterday after the show. I tuned in. He was doing, I think it was Chelsea's workout, the Capable Caterpillar,
Oh, nice.
and did some Russian twists. Those things kept smoking me, like doing a Russian twist with a 10-pound weight for a minute. I
Ever.
swear I'm if I swear I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear that timer of his, that like beep, that
Oh,
whatever that thing is.
yeah. I always think of it as a CrossFit beep.
Yeah, part of me wants to get one because the pacing is probably like the hardest thing I have to deal with when I work out like by myself. The pacing is probably the thing that like hurts me the most, I guess, if you could say that. I don't know, like taking
Hmm.
too long of breaks in betweens. Um, but then part of me doesn't want to get it because it's exhausting.
Man, today in space. This is I love this. This reminds me of so many people that I feel like get to a point where, I mean, I love that you're saying, that you are courageous. That's huge. So cool that it's coming from the Be Friends community there. I love to say this to people when just because I'm in this space of all things health, but I love talking about certain things with people and they're like, oh, it's either too hard, whatever's going on. I know Brofit's here with this message too, but like you're all going to be successful. You're all going to be successful on a long enough timeline. All of you, every single one of you. And I always love to kind of think that, like, if you guys are here right now and you guys are in this space at the moment, whether you just want to be a better parent, a better individual, you want to work on something, like you're a different breed of person. And so just give yourself a pat in the back for that. But on a long enough timeline, whatever you're working on, you're going to be successful as long as you don't give up. Right. So that's something where it is like, as long as you're doing something not to burn yourself out. And I've been there. Dom knows this, but it's something where we have to make sure that we're just, giving ourselves and being grateful for ourselves for everything we've done. So really, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. IJ Rob, the sexiest card breaker in the space, is here. Everyone. Oh my goodness. Did you? Today's a good day.
Look at my sweet sticker
Today is a good day.
from our friend the Plush Garden and Soggy Waffles slash Chat GPT designed artwork.
That's
Love it.
incredible. That is great. Oh my God. I never thought of it as the F stick, but now I can't think of it
You
differently than
can't
the F
not see
stick.
it. Yep. I
So,
think they dropped that on To the Moon one day or something. Yeah.
oh
Have
really?
to 3D print that. No, but 3D print it into a full length like 6 foot staff and then like bring it to national for Jay.
It does. It just has to keep growing. Event. Yeah, that would be amazing. And the Fearless Fairy is coming out. You know what? I think I have to say this, and I know Dom. I think I texted you this recently. Is that like in terms of like all things, my daily dads, V dads, I've just like been having this like urge, this need to like lean in further into the V Friends world with it all, and so my mind is both racing at the same time, like muddled and trying to figure out how to get that in there. But I think it could definitely start with us all having a big staff of some kind, and that would be incredible. So that would be
Whoever
good.
has the F stick gets the floor. If Jay will let it go. I mean, come on.
All right, hey, we're 15 minutes in. I didn't share my gratitude, but one thing I'm gonna stick with this because it's something where I mean, obviously, I love gratitude, but one thing, gratitude and kind of returning to some of the same thoughts. I love that when people do. So it's just for me. Sometimes I don't always just I don't always connect with it, but recently I've been just kind of thinking about this kind of grounding type of thing. Just thinking about some things physically that I know that I'm definitely feeling and just kind of putting without any explanation, just putting some words to it because I think it's important to just accept what we feel. But I know that for me, overall, I know that I'm just feeling a little more put together. I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling, I know it's more of emotional, but a little bit at peace, even physically. And then I think emotionally right now, I think that I'm just some words I would put to this is just I'm feeling validated, which is the huge thing for me right now. I feel resolved at the moment. And then just all things hopeful. So some really good stuff right there for me. So that is my piece on gratitude. And I'd love you guys to join us anytime that is happening. And then Jimmy Carter. We got Peanuts. We got Georgia. We got Navy. We got submarines. All things Jimmy Carter today. Let me get that book.
Yeah, this one, another page. This month is hitting me good, or at least hitting me in the feels of like where I need to work on in my parenting and the stuff that I need to remember, very, very clearly and top of mind, especially in those short moments that I have. So, I think we kind of did a little bit of this yesterday. Brooklyn was behind on some assignments and her grades came in. She's back into the F territory in her classes. Only 3 weeks left of school. We told her, we sat her down and we're like, you just got to do these assignments, and we have a weekend with no plans, so we can knock this out slowly, and together. And then she just proceeded to like kind of shut down and go to sleep. She slept for like 3 hours yesterday, like from the course of like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I think Amy and I both wanted to like wake her up and tell her, you got to get to work. But I think without even without even reading, we were just like, was like, okay, just let her have her rest. Let her, maybe she'll be in a better space tomorrow, and we'll see what we'll push a little harder today to get those, like 3 assignments done a day and get those 6 assignments done. But yeah, it was a little moment of that.
Dom, how are you in school?
How was I in school? I was pretty middle of the road. I think it was so funny. What was I? I was listening to Rob Messer's space the other day, and they were talking about school, and Rob gets real heated about school, and he
Yeah.
goes, when was the last time anyone ever asked you about your GPA? When you just asked me that question, the first thing I thought is, what was my GPA? And like I don't even really remember it. It was like 3.4, 3 point something. Like, so I think it was decent at the end of high school, but I definitely had, a couple D's here and there, and then, a couple of A's, and it kind of rounded itself out into the middle. I wasn't the greatest student.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Ta, I like this question, by the way. Let's come back to it in a second. I'm thinking about it. I wasn't like because when you end up talking about school and whether it's effort or desire or that kind of stuff, I always desired to kind of do well, but I desired to like be creative at the same time. Like I loved science, and it was like I always felt this like weird, like I didn't know where to put these things. And I was also like I was like a high B student, right? And then I knew that, I wasn't a bad student, but I would get C's if I didn't try to ask enough questions to understand what I didn't know. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like it's like I definitely could know this, but I just didn't. I didn't. It was like I was kind of afraid at the same time, unsure, like what to ask or who to ask, or if I ask now at this point in the year, they're going to be like, well, why didn't you know this before? And so it was this like weird. I had this weird relationship with school, but I was always kind of like flying under the radar, like just enough for like no one to think that something was going wrong. And I got enough like accolades to kind of be like, well, okay, he'll fall back on that.
Yeah.
And so like when I think about school, I look back, I'm like, man, there's a little bit of like, is it a waste of time? Well, no, but it's kind of tough. So when I think about like my kids or your kids that are having a hard time with school there, I'm like, okay, approaching it with, I don't want to be like, oh, empathy. Of course there's that, but it's a little bit of like I want to make sure they understand like the bigger picture. Like you might
Yeah.
not get this now and you don't need to understand this right now, but let's just work through it because the task is to complete this and we can get there many different ways, whether
Mm-hmm.
you understand it 100% or whatever. That's just how I'm always like kind of approaching this for me. I don't know. Is that how you approach school with your kids though? And in this scenario, you said it's with Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I mean, my thing has been lately, and a lot of it comes from like the Gary V and the V Friends brand of like, where we're all kind of saying like, dropping out of high school and college and successful careers, like stuff like that. And so it and I think also listening to people like Rob say, just the way like modern school systems haven't caught up to the way modern life is, to how you can just like, pull a career out of anywhere. Like you could spend your whole life getting education to become one thing, and then an opportunity presents itself and you go in a completely different direction that you never thought of, and you're more successful and more happy in that direction than you ever would have been in the direction of your original education and career prospects. And so that tells me that like the standard school system isn't for everyone, and it may just very well not be. And I don't think it really is for my kid, like for Brooklyn. Like I think it is for Bailey. Bailey's thriving in school. She's enjoying it a lot. She enjoys the social aspect, and she enjoys the sports, and she enjoys a lot of those things that the school system has. But it's not really hitting for Brooklyn right now. That could totally change in the next year or two. The different grade, even in high school, it could totally change for her. So I think a lot of what I'm stumbling on right now, and especially coming off of this page of leniency and tolerance, is, giving her the space to figure it out, giving her the space to fail and learn. And then what I'm trying to tell her is that, like, yeah, you don't have to know this stuff to live a full life or survive or make money or anything like that. But what you have to learn about school is that it's more of like the grind. It's teaching you to wake up, do the dang thing, whatever it is. Like in this case, it's math homework, but in like my case, it's go to work. In your case, it's take client meetings. Like it could just be in the case of doing laundry and dishes and watching kids. Like it's about like learning just some sort of structure in your life, and learning how to solve problems in whatever way they come at you. It's not about like graphing and calculating the sum of this or learning the history of that. But some of that stuff will help you. Like if you go to a certain point and you need to remember something like that. I mean, history is like the weirdest subject ever. Like I did not like history when I was going through school. Like I was one of those people that was like, why do I need to learn about the past?
Yeah.
But now every day I read about the past in my Stoic books, and I'm like, oh, I could learn a lot from these people because they went through the same thing I did, just slightly different. And now I
Yeah.
understand the history. I didn't understand that when I was a kid.
My dad was a history teacher, and I was horrible at history. I hated it because it was just like, I was like, there's just more history every year. And so we have to learn more every year. Yeah, you guys were good at history, but that was like 20 years ago. There's less
Good job,
history.
security.
Yeah, that's right. I always hated history for that reason. I just never
Yeah.
connected with history. I mean, it was like now I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Scuba, thanks for sharing everything with going on. And you know, Dom, you're talking about just executive functioning, right? We're teaching like kids need to learn like how to go
Yep.
through those things. But this is the problem, is that I think that things are all done backwards, and the way that we're forcing things into our kids brain, and you need to learn this way instead of learning how our kids brains work and then putting them in the right spot for them to actually be able to absorb and connect and succeed in the world. Because to think that everyone's brain is the same, and like I'm not going to go off on a rant here with my usual stuff on whatever, but our brains are physiologically wired differently. Like they just will be, and that's okay. But I think that what happens is that many things, whether it's the whole like Henry Ford model, like on the production line, like to think that everyone fits into that is just completely wrong. And I'm grateful right now that I know that my oldest's school is very much focused on coming from that place first. And, scuba, maybe that's where it's not stasis. That's that medication place, right? What did you say it was? Synthesis. I don't know much about it, but it's definitely an interesting thing. And this is, I think, where it's so important, where you can connect with your kid for sure. Because if the teacher or school is not, I think it's important. And if, I just wanted to make sure that you guys know what we're definitely talking about here. Like when it comes to this reading, when we were, it kind of talks all about Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter's dad was somebody who, Jimmy Carter's dad was someone who just was not what Jimmy Carter says here. He says, Daddy was rarely patient with foolishness and or mistakes. I mean, I think many kids could probably think that, whether we think we are or not sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Jimmy Carter's fishing with his dad. His dad gave him to all the live fish, put him on a line, and then tied the line of all the live fish that they caught to his belt. They were still in the water, right? But the line broke. The fish kind of, they all floated away, whatever. And Jimmy Carter, instead of saying, hey, Dad, I need help, he jumped in the water and tried to go find the string of fish. Obviously, kind of ridiculous. But to me, I connect with that because I'm like, all right, I get the idea of wanting to fix the solution, but not being able to approach your parent with a problem is the issue. And so when Dom yesterday was saying that, Brooklyn had reached out to him via text and said something, a lot of kids wouldn't do that. And I think that's just because Dom had left the space open for them to communicate that way. But what's really beautiful about this is that, Jimmy Carter's father, as he kind of goes on here, Jimmy Carter expected his dad to be really upset. But then Jimmy Carter's dad said, let them go. Right. There are a lot more fish in the river. We'll get them tomorrow. Right. And that was something that Jimmy Carter did not really expect to happen there. Some of that forgiveness and all that kind of stuff. And then he says, at least Ryan Holiday here writes, the fish no longer mattered. In fact, they never did matter. What mattered was that his father knew what Jimmy needed in the moment. And I think that's like school. It's like school it's not that school matters in the moment. It's that I'm teaching you how to navigate the world in the way that you need to. Just the same way with a bad grade is like losing the fish. And, if we are a parent that is constantly looking for the A, well, then, it's going to be an issue when our kid realizes that A's almost, if we can, that they mean absolutely squat sometimes. Right. So, I mean, look back, how many grades did you get on something? And in the grand scheme of it all, it doesn't matter. And if we don't share that with our kids in the right way, obviously we can't tell them that school doesn't matter. I think in some ways that kind of backfired on Gary Vee and his messages. But
I think there was a time where Bailey was getting all A's, and I think my first thing was good job, all that stuff. But then at one point I was like, are you even getting challenged at school? Is it not challenging for you? Do you need to be in different classes?
Why, Rich?
And so, and I'm very much of the school of thought of I told my wife the other day, I'm like, look, I kind of want her to fail, like Brooklyn, just learn to fail, learn what happens, after you get this big, bad, scary F, what is it? Because growing up and going through the rest of life, I know that you're going to fail more often than not. You're going to lose a client. I'm going to lose a client. That's what failure is. That's what failure looks to us. And we do that every single day of the week. So it's all just a learning lesson, and we just got to get through it. And, the thing that hurts me the most is when she, breaks down in tears because she just can't process what's going on. And she feels like her parents are just barking at her and that she's going to get in trouble and all this stuff. And, I don't know. It's stuff we're still working on, obviously, but.
Yeah, I know I'm going to bring this conversation probably into today. I know we have softball. Softball is supposed to be happening here for the past 3 weeks. It's been rained out. Things have been changing. So you have softball today. And I know I feel like growing up, my parents always threw myself and my two brothers, I'm the middle child, always threw us into sports. And I feel like we always kind of picked up sports pretty quickly. And I think my oldest might not be picking up sports as quickly as I think. And so I'm like, oh, wait, okay, I actually have to teach a little bit. And so I need to be a little bit I have to think today, if we're playing, she's playing. It's not about the actual skill that's, that she needs or that she's learning right now. It's just about kind of being there in the moment and kind of absorbing it. I mean, she's 8, right? I can't expect her to be amazing at it. So probably a really helpful thing for me just to keep in mind as I move into the rest of this morning.
Yes, sir. Whew. All right. How you feeling? Feeling good?
I feel good. I feel
How was
safe.
I'm gonna stall this for a little bit, but before I go, it's pretzel day. Oh man, I thought there was something there, Jay. But I was gonna say, how was your kid walking to school by herself the other day?
Oh man, thanks for asking so much. Overall, I think it was a great experience. It was awesome. Oh, and actually that brings me to, I think, a point. What's up with the pretzels? Where are we getting free pretzels? I'll take a free pretzel.
Drop the alpha, Jay.
Really. Oh, so anyway, it was good. I mean, okay, first of all, everyone has to know my daughter walked to school on her own for the first time, but school is across the street. So it's not as if it's like a big thing, but it's not about her learning as much as like I'm very open to this idea. I'm like, I think we just have to trust her and see what happens.
It's about you guys letting go more than it is her being ready.
Yeah. And so I think, like, especially for like Lauren, my wife, I think it was like okay, she can definitely do this. And usually my wife's kind of a little bit like timid, but then she's really quick to, I think, accept it once we actually think about it. But one interesting thing, give me 15 seconds. I'm going to see if I can pull this up.
Okay, I'll stall.
But I'd love for stop. I'd love for everyone to like think about this. And I also want to make sure that I don't know anything else about what I'm about to share. So it could be like some strange website or whatever, but there's this thing. It's there is a movement leading the movement for childhood independence. It's on letgrow.org, and I'm so curious.
Oh yeah, did you look into that?
So is that what I shared with you guys? Did I end up saying
yesterday? Yeah, you told us that.
Okay. So I didn't have any. I've been so busy this week with everything else, but I'm going to look into it because I really want to see this, because it's obviously about letting kids kind of, it says, build confidence, resilience, and self-reliance through independent play and real life experiences. This is definitely about letting parents understand how to let our kids, advocate for themselves and, take on these things. So I'm going to look into it a little bit more. I think it'll be cool. Again, I don't know where this is coming from. It could be some like wild, like it could be stemming from something that probably I shouldn't be talking about. I'm not sure, but it definitely looks really cool. So check it out. Maybe we can all come together and kind of talk about it. But letgrow.org, it looks really cool. A teacher shared it with me, so I'm assuming that there has to be at least some positive foundation to it all.
Okay, awesome. Well, Jay, look,
really
Jay's quiet the whole time until we start talking about pretzels and snacks, and then he blows up the chat. But thank you, Jay. We love you, Jay. There's some look at your local pretzel stores, and it's apparently pretzel day. People, go get a pretzel, take a selfie with it, DM Jay. Thanks for the free pretzel. I love you. Go fairy stick. Go F stick.
By the way, Ta, welcome. So great to have you. Let's definitely get you up here live one morning. We'd love to be able to have a chat with you.
Yeah, I think someone commented on one of your posts. I think it was Scuba Steve, our Twitter @, but we'll find you. We'll find you and friend you. I'm Dom Ruse, and that's Ryan Turner. Food is fuel. So we'll find you, dude. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend and time off with your kids and your family, and we will see you most likely tomorrow.
Love you guys.
See you, buddy. Love you.